Hello and welcome to Monday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we've seen Fog of War, Sudoku, being merged with chess before, but this apparently is something quite incredible. It's called Foggy Chess, unsurprisingly. It's by, is that PjoeterBliep? I don't know how to say it, I'm afraid. PjoeterBliep. That's my best guess at how to pronounce the name. It does, I think, this might have the longest rule set of any puzzle we've ever featured on the channel. However, that is because almost all of the rule set is actually explaining the rules of chess. So I think if we know the rules of chess, and I'm going to claim that I do, I think most of the rules are actually superfluous and the rules are very, very much more manageable. But this has been recommended to us by so many people, and so many people I really trust as great recommenders as well. So people like Skojo have been on the email saying we simply must look at this one. So I'm looking forward to having a go at it. I think it's got 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, but we'll read the rules together in a moment or two's time. Couple of things to mention before we kick off today. We're streaming tonight at 10 p.m. UK time. Love to have your company if you've been following our journey through the Blueprints Mansion. Actually, I'm going to have to get my head in the game. I can't quite remember what we were working on last week, but I'll try and do some revision before the stream this evening, and I'll try and remember to put a link to that stream on the screen now in case you're interested in joining us. Now, over on Patreon, we've got our monthly competition running. That's still got 9 days to go, which was the Spider-Man themed Sudoku hunt. So definitely check that out. But we've actually got a bit of a bonus as well for anybody who's interested in our crossword content. I have solved a viewer-created crossword this morning. So Oscar has been watching the channel for a while. Has become something of a constructor and sent his first ever construction to us. Now, we get that a lot. A lot of people send their first puzzles to us, but actually this puzzle was remarkably good, really remarkably good. Mark tested it and thought it was fantastic as a first puzzle. So I had a go at it, and if you like a bonus crossword video, it's either going to be on Patreon by the time this video goes live or very soon thereafter. I just have to edit it and put it and load it up, but it's imminent anyway. And very well done to Oscar on creating such an impressive first crossword puzzle. Now, birthdays. I've got some birthdays to do today. Andrew, you're turning 67 today. I know this because your son Joseph wrote to me describing you as a huge inspiration in his life, and also I think the reason that he enjoys Sudoku and crossword puzzles so much. And he said there's always a water-damaged Sudoku book hanging around because of your penchant for doing Sudoku in the bath. That's great. Anyway, conjures up an image. But Andrew, many happy returns. I hope that you have some great chocolate cake today. Next. Oh, I'm late with this one. This is my fault as well. I don't know how I missed it yesterday, but Caden, your girlfriend Taylor wrote to me. I think I remember you two. Are you from California? I think I've seen pictures of you in Yosemite before. Anyway, I was meant to do the shout out yesterday. I'm sorry. And the two of you are on a month-long minute cryptic streak. I think that's quite good, actually. I think my streak is closing in on 100 clues, but many of those I've sort of stared at for a while and gone, "Oh, don't know." But I think you're doing minute cryptic as a result of watching the channel. So I'm, you know. I think that is a very good effort, and best of luck with the streak continuing. And I hope there was some chocolate cake for you, Caden, obviously, yesterday. Next, Tom. Tom, you're turning the big 3-0 today. I know this because your wife, Tika, I think, and son, Rory, wanted to wish you many happy returns. I understand you watch of a morning. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you get some good cake today. And then finally, Vanda, you're turning 22 today for the 22nd time. I love that. Your husband Nev wanted to wish you many happy returns. Apparently you share a Sudoku with him every day, and which he really appreciates. And there's going to be an enormous chocolate cake in the offing today with chocolate cream as well. That does sound nice. So Vanda, many happy returns on your 22nd birthday. Now, shall we have a look at Foggy Chess by PjoeterBliep? Oh, I know I'm saying that wrong. I'm so sorry. The rules of this one are as follows. We have got normal Sudoku rules applying. So we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Dynamic fog. Some squares are covered with fog. Filling in correct digits may lift the fog somewhere in the puzzle. So if we got this cell here, it might not even clear the fog from that cell, I suppose, but it might clear the fog from that one. We just don't know. Chess pieces. The digit on a white chess piece, okay, let's look at that one, counts how many of the squares that the piece can legally move to contain a digit different from itself. Oh, there's so much going on there. Hang on, so let's reread that. The digit on a white chess piece counts how many of the squares that the piece can legally move to contain a digit different from itself. Right, okay. So basically we're going to have two tasks, aren't we, for a white chess piece? First of all, we're going to have to identify which cells the piece can legally move to, and then we're going to work out how many of those digits are different from the digit in the square that's got the piece in it. It's such a peculiar rule. Now, the digit on a black chess piece contains how many of the squares that the piece can legally move to contain the same digit as itself, not counting itself. Oh gosh, so that's opposite, is it? So a black, let's just think about this for this piece. So this is saying the piece can move to loads of cells. It's a bishop. So it can go to all those cells. Oh no, it can. I was suddenly thinking, can it? No, but it can go. It could take a white pawn. So the digit on a black chess piece counts how many of the squares that the piece can legally move to contain the same digit as itself, not counting itself. Okay, but that, although it could go to that cell, that couldn't have the same digit as this cell because Sudoku would prevent it. So I don't think that could be included in the count of this cell, is how I read that rule. Now, each player has exactly one king and at most 8 pawns. At most 8 pawns, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops and 1 queen. Okay, so we can't have more chess pieces for white than we could in a real game of chess. Well, that makes sense. Legal moves. Legal moves exactly follow the normal rules of chess. Okay, that's good. Pieces can capture, pieces block movement, and moves that leave your king in check are not legal. White pawns start on row 8. Oh, we've even got labelling of the rows today. So white pawns start on row 8 and black pawns start on row 2. Counting from the top. Yeah, okay, well that's what I would expect. Castling, promotion and en-passant are not relevant in this puzzle. Okay, so we don't have to worry about promoting pawns, castling or en-passant. That's okay, that's fine. All rules below are explanation of chess rules, so I don't think we have to read those, do we? Avoiding checks. A move may not make it possible for an opposite colour piece to see the same. Yeah, I mean, that's just normal chess rules. I'm not going to read normal chess rules. I'm figuring if you're going to try this puzzle, you know the rules of chess already. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So we have got some fog cells uncovered here. And we're going to have to work out. I'm going to have this rule up on the screen because otherwise I'm going to forget it. The digit on a white chess piece counts how many of the squares that the piece can legally move to contain a digit. Oh, I was thinking it's going to be a 0, but no, it's a digit different from itself. Right. Well, this cell is tiny, isn't it? It can't move anywhere unless one of those is a black piece. It can't go forwards, it would bump into a black piece. So I think that's only 1 or 2, I think. Now this one might be even more restricted. Let me just check. So this one, no, actually this one's less restricted because it could take the bishop, whereas that one couldn't. Well, this one can't go forward. This one could go forward if there's nothing there. So we don't know actually for that one, do we? Because if there's nothing in those 2 positions, so that it is legal for this one to go to this cell, or to take the bishop, that could go to 3 different cells, I think. And all of those cells would have to contain a different digit to this one because of Sudoku. I am understanding this right, aren't I? The digit in a white counts how many of the cells that we can legally move to contain a digit different from ourselves. Okay, so let's do the king. So the king, well, okay, so the king can't go there actually, because if the king goes there, it's in check from the black bishop, so it can't go there. So right, this is going to be a 3. Because this king, Maverick's taken off as well. This king could go there or there, but possibly, it must be able to go to one of those at least, because otherwise it would be a 0. But it can't be more than 2. It just can't. It can't move to these cells, and it can't go to that cell. So that's a 1 or a 2. So this cell is a 3, I think. Nah, that didn't clear the fog. Oh. But, okay, but that means that this cell, it could go to either of these 2 cells, doesn't it? So I think these 2 cells are empty. Now, how am I going to show that? Do I use lime green or something? I think these 2 have no pieces in them. Yeah, and I can see what that's going to do to this one. I've got this right, haven't I? I'm just worried this hasn't cleared any fog. If this can go to 3 different positions, it can take the bishop, it can go to, I think it feels right. Now, how could this be 2 now? If this is 2, it has to be able to take here, and it can't take there because I don't think there's a piece there, so I think that's a 1. And therefore that's a 2, right? Oh no, I think I've got this wrong then. I don't know. So okay, but now we know there's a black piece here, don't we? I don't know how to show that. How do I show that? Maybe we'll use maybe I'll just put a B in there, or a central B. No, because I'm going to think that's a bishop, am I? Oh. No, okay, we're going to have a colour, I think. So we'll have a colour, so we'll make dark blue a black piece. There we go. And then I'll take out the the B in the middle. So there are 2 black pieces here. These are all white pieces, so I better have a colour for those. Yellow, maybe? Yeah, I mean, that shows up quite well against the background of the fog. Now, I'm wrong as well. Well, no, I am wrong. I was going to say that these 2 had to be lime green, but I've realised that this king could move to either of those positions. I mean, imagine this was a black knight. Then the king could take that. So I can't conclude these aren't black cells or black pieces. But I do know that this king can move here and here. And I think I do know this is there. I definitely know that's a black piece. Okay, and I haven't thought about the bishop yet. So what's the black rule? How many of the squares the piece can legally move to contain the same digit as itself? So the black pieces are looking outside their own box, aren't they? So, hang on. Right, so I was about to say it couldn't. This is really tricky because, okay, because I was thinking it could go there. It's not to do with pieces, is it? It's to do with digits. So the fact that there isn't a piece here doesn't matter. It could still be the same digit as this. Counts how many cells? I mean, it's got to be at least a 4. So if that cell was a 4, that would obey the condition. So this couldn't obey the condition because that couldn't be different from this digit. No, sorry, it couldn't be the same as this digit. Oh, I'm just getting myself in a pickle here. So that one could be. That one could be. Then this diagonal is the next place to look. How many of those digits could be the same as the digit in row 7, column 8? And the answer is several. Although we couldn't obviously, whatever this digit, let's make this digit x. We couldn't have x in both of those. And hang on, the other thing I'm just a bit concerned about is what if there's a piece on this diagonal preventing this one from moving along it? How many of the squares that the piece can live? Because that would stop, that would stop us being able to get to this cell. And I can't see under the fog. Okay, well maybe we just have to do it on the basis that we don't know. So 1, 2. That couldn't be a third, because you can only have one of those 2 being the same as this digit. So 1, 2, not this one. 3 in one of those. 4. It can't be more than 5. There's no way that x is more than 5, and it's not 1, 2, or 3. So it's 4 or 5. So it does. So there are lots of duplicates then. And there's something here which has to obey the black rule. But I don't know what piece it is. Can it be? Oh, this is so confusing. I'm so sorry. Right. So there's a piece here. I don't know what it is, but it has to have a number. It counts how many of the squares that the piece can legally move to and contain the same digit as itself. So how could you ever have a black rook in this puzzle? What digit would you put on a black rook? Because I have to have the same, in order to count to have any number in the black rook cell, I'd have to see the same number with a rook's move, which by Sudoku is axiomatically impossible. So in fact, okay, so black rooks do not exist, I'm going to claim in this puzzle. Now, and actually, a black queen is only going to behave like a black bishop, I think, because it could never see the same digit as itself in its own row or column. So it's only going to be counting how many of its same digits it sees in its diagonals. Now, if this was a pawn, it can't be a pawn. Because isn't it going to have to be a 1, 2, or 3? That might be wrong. The digit on it counts how many of the cells that piece contain the same digit as itself. No. If it was a pawn, that could be the same digit. It could move there, but that would be a 1. So this cell is not a pawn. It's not a rook. Now, if it was a knight, how many contain the same digit as itself? Right. So a chess knight in this position could go to... It could go to those cells, but it has to be the same digit. So we can rule out these two. So it's not a knight. Sorry, I've just got rid of the cells. If it was a knight, it could go to those positions. But how many of those could be a repeat of this digit? You could only have one of let's say this was a 3. You could only have one of those there, one of those there, and one of those there. So it can't be more than 3 because there's only 3 different boxes it can visit, and it has to have the same digit. And it can't be 3 by Sudoku. So it is not a knight. So now, okay, so now it's a bishop or a queen or a king. No, or could it be a king? If it's a king, it's in check. But I mean, maybe, I don't know how this piece would have got here. But maybe that's not a question I'm allowed to ask. But if it was a king, it would still have to be at least 4. It definitely can't see 4 of the same digit in those positions. That's just a nonsense. There's only 2 Sudoku units there. So I don't think it is a king anyway. So it's a bishop. Well, whether it's a bishop or a queen, it's counting the same thing, which is how many cells in this... I'm going to put X in again. Sorry. How many X's it sees. It's irrelevant. If it's a queen, it's irrelevant. It can't see the same digit as X in its row or column. So we're only counting how many X's exist in those cells, I think. Which is relatively difficult, actually. Well, that's it. That's it. I've done it. When I say I've done it, I have actually done it. Because what can X be? X can't be 1, 2, or 3. And if I just highlight those cells for a moment, how many X's could we put in the purples altogether? I could put 1 in box 1, 1 in box 5, 1 in box 6, and 1 in box 8. I couldn't put more than that, and I can't put less than that because it has to be at least a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's a 4, I think. It's a 4, and it is. Right, it is a bishop, so there's no more black bishops, because that was a rule. I wasn't allowed to have more than 2 black bishops. So this is a 5. Still isn't clearing the fog, though. Right, but. Now, this is telling us that there is a 4 in one of those, there is a 4 in one of those, there is a 4 in one of those, and there is a 4 in one of those. And isn't it saying something more? Isn't it saying that none of those can be a piece? It might not be saying that, but if any of these, let's say row 5, column 5 was a piece, then you could never move this bishop to this cell. So the 4 in that box might be on the diagonal, but it couldn't count in the count of the digit. So I think all of these let's depurplify it. I think all of those have to be pieceless, if you like. I think. Now, what's the 5 telling us then for this bishop? Can't quite do that. That's very, very annoying. Well, one of those 2, 3. Oh, no, it's fine. It's actually fine. Because I was worried about this. Right, 5. How do we get this to see 5 5s? It can see 1 here. One of these can be a 5. That's 2. One of those, 3. This one, 4. One of those, 5. So that is a 5, I think. And that did clear fog. So there's a 5 in one of those, there's a 5 in one of these, there's a 5 in one of those 2, and there's a 5 here. That 5's going to be good. Because now this is a 5. Oh, look at that. Oh, goodness. So hang on now. Let me just be careful here. So this 5, again, I think it's the same principle. I've got to be really careful because one of these has to be counted by this bishop, which means I think that these cells can't have pieces on them. And this can't be a piece, because how could this see this? That cannot be a piece, because otherwise this one wouldn't be able to get to this cell. So these are 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got a white queen that has emerged from the fog. Right, now I have to go and check the white rule again. So the white rule is how many of the cells the piece can legally move to contain a digit different from itself? Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. It can't bump into the king. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No. So some of these have to be repeats. Yeah, I think this is going to be a 9, I think. Because I think this can see so many cells. Let me just reread this rule again. So how many can we legally move to without even having to think about it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They all clearly cannot be the same as the queen digit. Definitely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That cell is definitely not an 8 or a 9, so that cell's visitable. But these are so I keep getting more than 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this could be a 9. So what I'm thinking, but then I'm going to get a 10. So sorry, I'm being very dense here and not very good at explaining it. But what I can't understand is it seems to me that it is indubitably true that this queen can go there, 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 and there, without even troubling itself. It can do that just simply, and none of those digits can be the same as the queen digit. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 8. So this has to be more than 8. Or 8. But why can't it go there? Because, yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think there was anything. The fog has cleared here. So it can definitely take this cell. Oh, wait a sec. No, that's not true. That's not true. Oh, hang on. Well, okay, let me just think about something different to that. So let's say it includes this. Then it's at 9, which means this would be a 9 because it can't be a 10. But then it mustn't see any more cells. But these 3 have no pieces in them. So what is preventing this queen from going to these 3 cells? Nothing. And I could only put 2 9s into them. So the count of this is 10. Now, right. So obviously the count of this is not 10. So there must be something preventing. This is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's going to be something that stop. I think it's something over here that's going to be looking at this, the king, stopping this moving off the bottom rank. What else could it be? Why couldn't this queen go to all of those cells? And obviously the count would be how many different digits it sees in those cells. But we know that's at least 10. What's stopping it? The only thing stopping it will be if it's illegal for it to make the move. And there's no chess pieces. So there's no blocking. So the thing that must be stopping it is a rook or something over there, a black rook looking at this cell. Oh, hang on, but hang on. No, I'm not allowed a black rook in the puzzle. I'm sure I'm not. Because the black rook is meant to be counting how many digits which are the same as itself, which would be 0. So what's happening here is there is a black queen here stopping this moving off the bottom rank. Now, so what is the count of this then? So in terms of legal moves, none of those moves is possible. You can't take there either, because you will put your king in check. So all this can do... Oh, so this can take... It can take the black queen. So it can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so it's got to be 6. And in fact, I now know, this is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. The black queen has to go there. Because if the black queen was here, this could only move to 5 different cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has to be able to move to... I didn't clear the fog. But maybe that's because this is a 4 now. But this is a black queen. There. And I think this is a 4. I think. I didn't clear the fog. Because this had to see 4 4s. It can't be that I know that, is it? So that's a black queen. So that's how many... And we know, okay, it can't see the same digit as itself in its row or column. So it's only counting how many... So it can only be a 1 or a 2, actually. So it's a 1. There's a 1 in the corner. Because it has to see the same digit as itself on a diagonal, which is only this diagonal. So it can only be sees a maximum of 2 boxes. You can't repeat the digit in those three, and you can't repeat it in those three. So it is 1 or 2, and by Sudoku it's 1, I think. It is a 1, which means there is a 1 in one of those 6 cells. It means this cell is not a piece, because it has to. I have to be able to legally move to wherever the 1 is on this diagonal. This is a very, very clever puzzle. It's not easy, though. I think it would be very easy indeed to make an error. And now, do you think I make all these cells lime green, just to say, not that one maybe, that's definitely yellow, just to re-emphasize the fact there's no pieces in them. And we've got a new piece here, which is a black pawn. But I have to, okay, again, I've got to have the same digit. Now that can only be a 1. Because it's got to, what we're doing is counting how many of the cells it can move to, which I think that is the complete panoply of cells, can be the same digit as this digit. And by Sudoku, those are ruled out. So does that mean both of those are 1? I think it does. I think both of those. It does. That's just fantastic. And that one's a white piece. Okay, let's label the pieces then. That's yellow. And these two are both black pieces now. And can I do the same thing with that one then? That's got to count how many digits it can move to that are the same as itself. So it must be a taking move coming down the board. So they're both 1 as well, I think. And that's another white piece here, which is yellow. Okay, yeah, I can do something here. 1 by Sudoku in box 1. I know it's not like me to think of Sudoku, but I can do it. Now that is, I think that's a green cell. I think it's not a piece. 5 now has to be here, because we had to put a 5 onto this diagonal. So these are all sort of lime green, not chess pieces. One by Sudoku is in that cell, and that's not a chess piece. How many 1s have we actually got? How do I? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got 8, so I can put a 1 here as well. Didn't clear any fog. Okay, can we just check that the 1 works for a white pawn? I mean, it must work because it seemed logical. So a white pawn, a digit on a white piece, counts how many of the squares the piece can legally move to contain a digit different from itself. Oh, no, okay, that's totally different. Because what that's saying is it's expressly not counting this. So it's saying it can't move to both of those cells, otherwise it would be a 2. That's tricky. Oh, okay. This one can't move diagonally because there's no piece in that position. So it's able to move to this cell, which will obviously have a different digit in it to itself, but that's telling us this doesn't have a piece in it. Because if that had a piece in it, it couldn't legally move to that, and there would be no position it could move to. So that is an empty cell, I'm going to claim. Okay, now which one? I haven't looked at this I haven't looked at this knight yet. And I'm not sure there's much else I haven't looked at. So this knight, let's read the black rule again. How many of the squares the piece can legally move to contain the same digit as itself? Right, not counting itself. So let's just label them all. It's all of those positions. So how many of those positions can have this digit in it? These two can't. That one can't, because this can't be a 1. So it's a maximum of 3. No, it's not. It can't be 3, because that can't be a 3. So I don't think this can be 3. If it's 3, I think you've got to put a 3 in one of those, a 3 in one of those, and a 3 here, which you can't do. So that is a 2. Didn't clear the fog. And that's very unhelpful, because now we can't do that, can we? Because now all we're saying is that there are 2 2s in those 5 positions. Which... Okay, let's try and do some Sudoku on 5s, because I have got quite a few 5s in the grid. There's a 5 in one of 2 places in box 3. I thought I was going to get 5 in box 4, but no. What about 5? No. 5 in box 7 is also not available. Oh, bobbins. Right, so 6 in box 9 is in one of 2 places. Let's double click. I've only got 1 3 in the grid. Let's double click 2s. 2s are terrible. 4s. I've got 2. I have got 2 4s. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, it might be something to do with... No, that's terrible. It's not. Right, this 1 had to see the same digit as itself, but it does. It can see this cell. And that's... So I don't have anything... I can't really say any more about that diagonal. So... don't know what to do. So this one had to see the same digit as itself, which it does. So that's finished. This one had to see the same digit as itself, which it did. This one has to see 2 2s in the oranges. There's no difficulty with that, though, is there? I don't think there is. It's a slightly odd one, that, though, because that's not... Well, it gave me the 2. That's what it did do. It gave me the 2. Why has it given me the 2? How is that in any way done anything to anything? Because it seemed like we were able to rule 3 out. We got the 2 as a result, but it didn't clear any fog. Okay, let's revisit the 4 and the 5 here. The 5 had to see 5 so 1 of those 2, 3, 4, 5. That 5 is sort of done. I mean, there's an ambiguity left. The 4 here has to see 4. 1 of those 2, 1 of these 3, 1 of those 4. I don't know what to do here. Looking at the rules, thinking I'm only allowed. I've got to have 2 kings. I've got to have no more than... I've got hardly any pawns. 2... I can't... I don't... Presumably I can have white rooks. I think that white rooks are probably very easy to place. No, in the sense they could have big numbers in them. Yeah, white rooks I think are very unrestricted. have 2 knights in each colour. I've only got 1 knight in the puzzle at the moment, so that's not restricted. I have got 2 black bishops. I can't have any more black bishops, but I've got no white bishops. I've got both queens. I haven't got the black king. I haven't got the black king. Right, what do I? Oh, I actually have to have a black king. It does say each player. Yeah, that's interesting wording. It says each player has exactly 1 king, and at most, and then lists the other things. So maybe the black king, right? What's the rule that applies to the black pieces? How many of the squares that the piece can legally move to contain the same digit as itself? Right. So the king, the black king, is going to have to be it's going to operate a bit like a pawn, frankly, because a king in this position can only go to those cells. Now, obviously, if this was the black king, none of those cells could be the same as itself. So it would be this is a totally invalid position for the black king. The black king needs to be at a boundary. And this is very clever. This is very clever. I'll tell you why this is clever. Because I've put all the 1s in the puzzle. So the black king, is it true, this might not be true, is it true the black king has to be a 2? Is there any position in this puzzle where you could put a black king and it be a 3? Which would mean it would have to see 3 3s. No. No, that's clearly impossible. There is no way that a piece that can only move 1 cell from where it is could see. I'm just trying to pick a good spot to put this in. Could see 3 instances of itself within 1 cell. I mean, if we were to put it here, if that was a 3. Let's just colour it. So if that's a 3, you could put a 3 here. You could put a 3 here. You couldn't put any more 3s in. What about that one? If this was a 3, you could put a 3 here. You could only put a 3 in one of those 2, and you can only put a 3 in one of those 2. So you can't, you couldn't have all 3 of those as a 3. It won't work. So I think, right, so it's something to do with where you can put a 2 for the black king. And I think it's going to be clustered around these positions, because it's going to have to see, it's still going to have to see, well, or within a king's move area, like which would be that if this was the center, there are going to have to be 3 instances of this digit. There's going to be the cell itself, and then okay, this is instructive because it's helping me to visualize it. So what I'm saying is, imagine the 3 by 3 around the king, where this is the king. What we're saying is that in that 3 by 3 there are 2 more instances of this central digit. Now, that clearly can't be in the same row or column, so we are thinking about the quincunx. And what we're seeing there is there's got to be 2 instances of this digit in these 4 cells. And what that seems to me to say is it's a diagonal. Imagine this was the 2 we're looking for, then those 2 would have to be the 2. But imagine this one isn't here. That could be a 2, but then that would have to be a 2, because neither of these could be. So actually, we're looking for a diagonal string of 3 consecutive 2s that doesn't bump into anything in the grid at the moment. So that is a possible position, going there. Is that the only one? You can't put it here. There's no diagonal that it's not quite the right place. Here it doesn't work because that cell would be a 2. So if you tried to do that diagonal, you can't do that diagonal because we know this isn't a piece, and that 2 would see that one as well. You can't do anything around here because this 2 sort of rules the roost over the barriers. I think this might be the only position. Isn't that extraordinary? I mean, let's just stop there. If that's right, and that's what you have to do, you have to figure out that the black king, A, it has to be a 2, and B, because of the way that the geometry's worked, there's only one position for it where it can see 2 other 2s on a diagonal of a quincunx. That is just superb. I don't want to get this wrong. It would be terrible, wouldn't it, if I put the 2 there and either it's not. I think it has to be those 3. I just can't see where else you could do it. That doesn't mean that there isn't a place you could do it. It just means I can't see the place you could do it. Okay, I'm going to go for putting 2s in all of those at the same time. Yes. Oh, yeah, yes, and it is. That is the black king. So it's actually revealed. So these are both green. They don't have pieces in it. That's the second black knight. Oh, that's got to be a 3, sure. I mean, I'm saying that might be wrong, but I was just thinking how many. It has to see the same digit. So if we highlight all the cells that, well, let's do all of them. I think some of them are just complete nonsense. So we're looking at how many of those can be the same as this digit. So it's not those 2, they're in the same box. It can't be a 1, so it's not that one. It can't be a 2, so it's not that one. It is a 3, isn't it? It can't be a 1 or a 2. And how many digits can we repeat in these 3 boxes? It's got to be 3. And that's a 3. And that's a 3. And that's a... Oh, yes. That's a 3. And that seems to say this is a 4 using our earlier logic. But now, okay, now I've got to be very careful because what I want to do is get rid of some of this colouring. What did the orange mean? The orange meant 2s attaching to this one. So now how do we do that? It's got to be a 2 there and a 2 there. I don't know if that's clearing fog or not. Okay, I mean, I think that's logical what we've done now. Right, 2 has to go there by Sudoku. That did clear fog. Right, look, we can green all of those. All of those cells there haven't got chess pieces in them. 2, oh, that's a bit of a worry. 2 is on top of that digit, which is placing 5 in this box. Oh, that is correct. So that gives us some cause for... I don't know what... I can't remember what that 2 means there. We're going to have to come back to that. That is a white knight. Oh, knights in white satin. That's what that's made me think of. Don't know. Knights in white satin. Making me think of Procol. It's not Procol Harum, is it? No, Procol Harum is She Skipped the Night Fandango. Okay. Oh. Oh, I don't know. That's a blast from the past. Anyway, let's see. Can I do, or have I done indeed all the 2s? I might have done them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've done all the 2s. I've done all the 1s. Let's try all the 3s. I've got some 3s. I can do a bit more pencil marking. Oh, no. I can get a 3 there for nothing. And that's another green cell. Now I can get a 3 here for nothing. Oh, whoa. Okay. Okay. I can get a 3 here for nothing. I can get a 3 here for nothing. That says that's a 4. That's Sudoku. That's nothing clever about that. I've got a 4 on a bishop up there. Didn't clear any fog though. 4 here. 4 in one of those 2. So I've got loads of 4s. 4 in one of these 2. 5s. How many 5s have we got? Lots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Okay. 6s. 1. I've only got 1 6. I mean, I think that's just because it's very hard to put big digits on these pieces. But I also got that too. So now I've got some more pieces to think about. I've got, this is a yellow, as in a white bishop. Now, this had to see 4 4s. So this cell has to be green. Otherwise, this cell couldn't be seen. Because actually, the way that that 4 gets seen is that this bishop can take this bishop. So whichever one of those is a 4 has to be reachable from this. Okay, now what does a white knight 2 mean? That means that counts how many squares I can legally move to that contain a different digit. Well, that's just, it's almost obvious. I suppose we're being told neither of those are white cells. That's all we're being told. I don't think we're being told, because they could be black. They could be black pieces. And then, so I can't green these because they could be black pieces, I think. Ah, hang on, there's another, I found another. Okay, so we've got both white knights. Oh, what's this? This must be a 4, surely. It can't be a 6. Right, hang on, let's do this one. This, how many cells? Hang on, let me just, oh no, it's a white knight, so it's not the same as this one. It's how many cells contain a different digit? This could be a big number. 1, 2, a different digit. So that, yeah, this one counts the ones in its boxes. Oh, but it's still quite difficult for it. I think, okay, those are the cells it can move to. Oh, wait, it can't be a 4. It has to be a 6. So, sorry, yeah, it has to be a 6. Because there's just nothing else it can be. It can only see 6 different cells. So it has to be able to move to all of those cells, which prevents some of them from being white cells, white pieces. But B, well, it has to be a 6. Oh, look, yeah, watch this. So now, where does that 6 go in box 3? Because we now know that 6 is not that or not that, because this needed to count different digits. So 6 is placed. That's 6. That's absolutely, this is unbelievably clear. Oh, whoa. That has really cleared some fog over there. Oh, we've got white. Yeah, white rooks are okay. It's the black rook that we can't have any of. Now, we can ask where 6 goes in row 2, and Sudoku will tell us the answer to that. 6, where's 6 in box 4? Sudoku's going to tell us the answer to that. That's placing 5. I think that's finished all my 5s off. So I've got a 6 in one of those two positions. I've got a 6 here, apparently, by Sudoku. I've got a 6 there. I'm doing very well with 6s all of a sudden. 1, 2, 3. Can I get them? I think I can get them all. I think I can get that one. I can get that one. That's all of them. Yeah, and that's okay, because the purples, I can't put 6 into any of those purples, so that does make sense. I don't think we've breached the rule for this one. These two are both empty. That's empty. So lots of things are empty. That can't be a 4 anymore. We've got 7s, 8s, and 9s all over the place. And I've just got these two white rooks that have shown up. And we'll have to do a count. So, how does a white rook work? It's counting how many digits it can legally move to with different digits, but everything in its it's going to depend how quickly it gets blocked, because it can't move to the 2 white cells. That would be an illegal move. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9, just because it is. It can take that one. It couldn't take that one because it would have to jump over the knight. So that's a 9, I think. So that's a 9 by Sudoku. Nine is in one of 2 places in box 5. There is 7, 8, 9. Everything's a 7, 8, 9 triple, right? Hopefully this one will do it. So again, if we count in the column, we can take the queen. In fact, yeah, we've got to be careful here, because that cell has been revealed, isn't it? It's just there's some checkerboarding effect in the background for the chessboard that's living under the fog. But that is a revealed cell. It's clearly not grey, is it? The fog has cleared from this, so that's visitable. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 again. So that's 9 as well. Didn't clear the fog. But it does, okay, it gives me a 9 here. That did clear the fog. So we've got 7, 8 there. That's good. So that's a 9 in row 4. So this is a 7, 8, which means that's a 9 in box 3. 9 in the corner. Not a 3, but still feels almost worthy of a song. 9 here by Sudoku. 9. Oh, whoa. Let's do that one again. 9 there is clearing everything except this one. So are the 9s all finished? The 9s are all finished, and everything else is 7s. Oh, look at that! So that does light up the checkerboard. Everything else is 7 or 8, and everything is visible, in the sense this is the only cell that either. Or does that have to contain a piece then? Is that the point? What I'm wondering about, this is the problem with this, is I don't know for sure. Oh, maybe I do now, because everything is revealed. But I don't think I have to have any more pieces, do I? I knew I had to have 2 kings, and I found those eventually. So, okay, so if this was a black piece, what could it be? We know there are no black rooks. So, and it can't be a knight. It can't be a bishop. We've had 2 of each of those. It can't be the queen. That's living there. So it would have to be a pawn. It can't be a pawn because it would meant to have a tiny count. So this is not a black piece, I think. There's just nothing it can be. So for this to have a unique solution and the 7s and 8s to be resolved, that has to be a white piece. Now, what have we not had white piece-wise? We have had the 2 rooks. We have had the queen. So it's a bishop or a knight. It's not a knight. I've had 2. So it's a bishop. That is a white bishop is my contention. And the white bishop is going to count how many of the cells it can legally move to contain a digit different from it. It's going to be loads, isn't it? Well, it's those 2. 1, 2. That's different to it. 3, 4, 5. Don't know whether that one's different. 5 at least. 6, 7. It's white, so it can't take the king. So it's at least a 7. Ah. Okay, yeah, it's 8 though. It's 8 because it sees that one. These don't have pieces in them. I think that's true. I think it's 8, and actually that's going to be huge because it's going to be 8, and these 2 can't. Oh, maybe that's no. It is true. Yeah, it's going to be 8, and actually those 2 are going to have to be 8 because. But right, let me try and explain. What we're saying is, firstly, we're trying to work out which cells can this white bishop legally move to. Now, it can move to those 2, definitely. It can move definitely to all of those because there's no pieces in the way. We can see all the pieces for everything apart from this cell. It can move those 2. It can't move to the king, obviously, and it can move to those 3. So what we can now do is count exactly how many digits are definitively different from this, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is 8, and oh, okay, well that's what we expected. And now we can fill some things in. Oh, not. Oh no, we can do a bit more. But we also know that if this was 7, this would have been a 9. So that must be 8. That must be 8. That must be 7. 8, 7. 7, 7, 7, 8, 8. 7, 8. That is a fantastic puzzle. How long has that taken? Yeah, I felt like it took me a while, actually. You've got to be very careful with that, I think. Is it right? It must be right. Yes. That is a beautiful. I mean, anybody who likes chess will love that. The moment where I realise that it's so clever, this queen, because what it did was it revealed something on that diagonal that meant that this was always too big, and it was like, why? How does that possibly work? And then you have the epiphany that says, oh, well, there must be something putting this in check if it moves. That's fantastic. And then there was the moment where I realised there had to be a black king. And then the black king could only go in one position on the grid at that moment. It's just, imagine setting that up. It is brilliant. It's brilliant. Oh, I hope that gets some traction. I really think it's a super puzzle. Very original, highly brilliant, and very entertaining. Loved it. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.